No Skill Customs.
Hey Star Wars and action figure fans, this is Bert, and I've got a new series that I'm starting today, and it's called We Need to Talk. And our first episode is we need to talk about two-onebee. Yes, everyone's favorite, second favorite? FX7 is pretty sweet. One of everyone's favorite medical droids. What we're here for today is to settle a debate. Which two-onebee droid is better for your Empire Strikes Back scenes? Now, I bring this up because one of my biggest channel supporters, Ken K, asked why wasn't I considering the 30th anniversary two-onebee droid in my Every Droid in Empire Strikes Back video. Plus, I did mention him in my Every Character in Jabba's Palace video. So what's up with that? And plus, I was just about to make my Every Droid in Return of the Jedi video, and I thought, you know what? I don't have enough time to settle this there, so I'm going to settle it in its own special video, and here it is. On the left, we have the 30th Anniversary Collection two-onebee droid, and on the right, we have the Power of the Force 2 two-onebee droid. 30th Anniversary one on the left, of course, was released 30 years after the first movie for the 30th Anniversary in 2007. The Power of the Force 2 one was released sometime in the 90s, like 96, 97, but also again in 2011. Before we settle this debate, let's take a look at where two-onebee shows up in the movie. First, we see him looking after a tauntaun that's been mauled by what we should presume is a wampa. Then we see him taking care of Luke as Luke is in the Bacta tank. We see him again when Han and Leia come to visit. And then we see him once again when Luke is getting his snowspeeder gear on. And finally, at the end of the movie, when Luke gets his new hand, it is two-onebee who's operating on him. And of course, you might remember he shows up in the Rebel briefing room scene in Return of the Jedi. And then also, of course, at the very end of the movie in the Rebel celebration scene, I'm pretty sure. Grape soda for everyone! All right, now let's take a look at that 30th Anniversary Collection figure. It's actually a pretty nice figure. Clearly based on his appearance in Revenge of the Sith, not so much his appearance in Empire Strikes Back. But there's still a lot of reasons that people use him for their Empire Strikes Back dioramas. I think this comes down to a couple things. Number one, it's the articulation. He's way more articulated than the Power of the Force version. Number two, detail. He's got all the wires and stuff on his arms that the Power of the Force 2-1 lacks. But what the Power of the Force 2-1 has going for it is that finish, number one. That light blue gray color with a bit of metallic to it. It looks exactly like it does in the movie. And number two, there's a texture over all the metallic blue parts that looks kind of pitted and dented, just like it does in the movie. Those two things are going for it. I think the general proportions and sculpt, even though it doesn't have as much detail, I think those look more like the real character from Empire Strikes Back than the 30th Anniversary one does. Plus, he's got better feet. The feet on the 30th Anniversary one, they look like Fugitoid from the Ninja Turtles. No Star Wars character has feet like that. Then, of course, there's the height factor. They are significantly different in height, but neither one is actually quite right. And I was watching this YouTube tutorial that said that people love math in their YouTube videos and they love live calculator typing. So I'm going to bring both of that to you to solve this height issue. Let's start with the average height of a Star Wars action figure. Okay, so if you figure that most of the Star Wars figures are 3.75 inches tall, and the average height of a character would be maybe 6 feet. If you do the math on that, that ends up with a foot being equal to 0.625 inches. So we're going to take that 0.625 and multiply it by the height of the actual original model. The original model was 178 centimeters, and that's equivalent to 5 feet 10 inches, or for our purposes, 5.84. So we're going to take 0.625 times 5.84, and you find out you get the answer of 3.65. So he should be 3.65 inches tall, or if you want to do the math on that, make it into a fraction, 3 5/8 inches. So that makes our 30th Anniversary one a quarter of an inch too short at 3 3/8 of an inch, and it makes our Power of the Force 2-1 a quarter of an inch too tall at 3 7/8 inches. But do you know which two-onebee figure is actually the exact right height? You guessed it, the original vintage action figure. So what you might have guessed was this whole let's talk about two-onebee here. This is really us talking to Hasbro. Hasbro, let's stop this debate about which two-onebee we should be using in all of our setups, and let's make us a nice new one with the height of the original 1980 two-onebee, the articulation and extra fun wires of the 30th anniversary collection two-onebee, and the modeled texture and perfect silvery blue colors from the Power of the Force 2 two-onebee. Please, Hasbro. I'll buy at least 3 of these if you just make them for me. Thanks. This has been Bert. We'll see you next time.